Well, guys, it looks like it's official. The MLB will be opening the 2024 season in South Korea per a report that came out yesterday. MLB is reportedly planning on beginning next season in South Korea with their typical two-game series between the Dodgers and Padres, according to an ESPN report. It would mark the first time the league has played in South Korea, and the 9th time since 1999, the league will begin a season outside of the United States or Canada. Now, the first few things I want to address, number one, I got to be honest, I really don't like when the MLB does this at the beginning of the season. I understand if you want to go to South Korea, you kind of have to, because of the schedule, do it at the beginning of the season. But to me, when they have one of these series that's like a week before every other opening day game, it feels like an exhibition. I don't know. That's what it felt like when they opened at the Sydney Cricket Grounds. We'll have to see. It is a little bit surprising they are choosing to go to South Korea, but we do have this little graph that I wanted to talk about, and then we'll get to the whole stadium situation in South Korea. But you can see they're having spring training in 2024 in Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic. That's probably just going to be like a few exhibition games in the middle of spring training. Then they have the opening weekend in South Korea in Asia. Every year in May from 2024 through 2026, they will be in Mexico City. That is the two-game series they do now every single year with the crazy altitude. Although they might actually decide to go to a new stadium, maybe outside of Mexico City. I don't know. But if they stay at Mexico City, there is that crazy altitude, and I'm sure they probably want to do that. The Mexico City games should be, really all of these games should be national television. I don't know how the MLB is going to have an international two-game series and not make the Saturday game on Fox and the Sunday game on ESPN. I don't understand why you wouldn't do that. And then June, they're going to London in 2024 and 2026, and then Paris in 2025. I believe the Yankees will be going to Paris in 2025, probably Yankees, Red Sox, but we will see. And then in September, they're going to San Juan in 2025 and 2026, and they're also going to Tokyo opening weekend in 2025. I wonder if they're going to the Tokyo Dome again, probably. But we will see on that. So getting to the whole South Korea stadium situation, where will the games be played? You can see I would say there's two probably obvious choices. The first option is the one with the biggest capacity, 25,000 total fans, located in their capital city. Jamsil Baseball Stadium opened in 1982, but it actually recently did receive renovations, and when you look at the design of it, it looks like one of those typical, Japan, Korean type stadiums, really compact, not a lot to it. It is located in their capital, so that is why I would say if the MLB, wants to choose a place, this would probably be one of the better ones. I will say, the exterior of it really is not appealing, but that would probably be the first option in my opinion. There's also this Lions Park. This one was opened in 2016. This is not in the capital city, and it seats a little bit less, but it is more new, and it does kind of have a nice backdrop of just, honestly, it's almost built into the side of woods. There's just a bunch of woods and stuff. There's some nice outfield seating, things like that. And there is an upper deck to it as well. So that would be an interesting choice for the MLB. But I would say the only other real option outside of the main stadium with the most capacity is Changwon NC Park, which opened in 2019 and was designed by a popular American stadium architecture group. And it is very modern. It has almost an American-like design. The capacity of this is right around 22,000, so theoretically, to me, this is probably a top contender in terms of the stadium that they would use when looking at South Korea. It is not located in the capital. That would be one of the drawbacks, but I'm not sure that's really a determining factor. So I'll say, maybe they'll use the biggest one in terms of capacity, but I could see them using this, newer stadium opening in 2019 that looks a little bit more American, has a little bit more modern type design, has more suites, things like that when it comes to South Korea. And this stadium, it seems like a pitcher's park. It is like 400, it says, to the gaps. I don't know if that's right. I mean, it says it's 400 feet to left center field, and 400 feet to right center field. I don't know if that's correct, but that took 3 years to be built, and it did open in 2019. So that is kind of the top options. And then one other stadium I wanted to mention, it is the Sky Dome. This actually hosted, I believe, the 2017 first round of the World Baseball Classic. And seeing the design of some of these South Korea stadiums, I mean, look at this thing. It is like, it has a weird, almost like mini Mount Davis upper deck in the outfield that's not connected to any other seating. It kind of reminds me of that. So that's kind of a funny design. I don't think this will be MLB's choice when it comes to the stadium, but it is kind of unique. And also it does have the ability to let in natural light. I don't think it's retractable, but it does, like, there's an awning over top that does let in natural light. And also on the sides as well, I believe that is a thing where you can kind of see it lit up and illuminate right there. So I just thought that was an interesting one. That one also seats like 22 or 23,000. A lot of these stadiums in South Korea are around like 20 or 25,000. But I would say the top two contenders to host in terms of the stadium, it would be the main stadium that seats the most, that has a capacity of 25,000. It says in 2020 it did receive a renovation to the outfield. So, maybe because it got a renovation, even though it was built in 1982, they would consider it. But I do think personally they will choose the new Changwon Park that recently opened in 2019, just because it is more modern. It has better, suites, better press boxes, better looking stadium a little bit, but it does seem like a relatively deep park overall. So that is the South Korea situation. That is where the MLB will be next year. When it comes to, again, the MLB opening their season in other places, normally what it is, because of travel, this game will take place like in late March, like March 25th or 26th, and then it'll take place on like a Friday, Saturday, and then the actual MLB season will officially start the next like Thursday. So it'll be like a 2-gamer. They'll get the players back. It's kind of the same thing they do when they go to Japan or Australia because of the travel concerns. I don't like it because it feels like an exhibition game. It doesn't feel like we're really into the season, but you do understand why they do that, because it'd be very hard to get guys to travel to South Korea, deal with the time change, and then come back to America and continue playing in the middle of their season with just like 2 off days on each end. So this is just going to be a 2-game series. The Dodgers and Padres, there's kind of like a trending thing going around right now within the MLB. What is the best rivalry? Is it the Dodgers Padres? I mean, come on, guys. It's got to be Red Sox Yankees. I'm not even a Red Sox or a Yankees fan, but that's just a different rivalry. I don't know. But, this is, I guess, a budding new rivalry. It'll be interesting to see if the Dodgers come into this game, opening, game with Shohei Ohtani possibly starting on the mound, opening day in South Korea. I'm sure the MLB is hoping that happens. But I do think the Dodgers will make a huge attempt to get Ohtani. It is no coincidence that the year before Ohtani is set to become a free agent, the Dodgers do not spend a single dime in the offseason, or at least not much in the offseason. They cut their payroll a little bit. It is not a coincidence. They will be going after Ohtani really hard. I do not know if the Angels will trade him at the deadline. I would figure in typical Angels fashion, they will keep Ohtani and then they will miss out on the playoffs by 2 games, and then they will lose Ohtani in the offseason. At least they'll get one of those, first-round draft picks, That's what you get for losing a player in free agency when they sign a mega deal. But yeah, I would figure Ohtani. I mean, I'm not going to predict he's going to the Dodgers, but if the Angels don't do anything this year, if they lose in the first round, if they don't make the playoffs, it's very clear Ohtani is going to leave. Ohtani wants to be on a playoff team, and I also think maybe Trout could leave, or at least demand a trade as well. At some point, if you're Mike Trout, you've got to win a playoff game. I mean, like, you're 0-3 in your career. That is a horrible mark on your resume. I know people will cope and they'll say, "Oh, the MLB is it's a team game." It is, but at some point you have to win a playoff game. I mean, it's just ridiculous. So we'll have to see what happens with the Angels, but I do think it'll probably be this newer park, Changwon Park, because it is brand new. It was designed by a popular stadium, architecture firm in America. And maybe Shohei Ohtani will be starting it, and it will be the Dodgers and the Padres happening next year, probably in late March, I would say, in a 2-game series. So the MLB going to South Korea, the MLB opening up in 2025 in Tokyo. Once again, going back to that little graph I had up, you can see. And then 2026, where would they open? Probably back in Japan. I recently had a video on where the MLB should go. I think I said Japan with that new stadium was the number one option. They really need to go to that new stadium because it legitimately is better than some MLB stadiums. But in 2026, I think this is only going to get even crazier with the MLB trying to expand their game. And it's a little bit different with the MLB and the NFL. The NFL is more like they're trying to bring in the European fans. Honestly, they don't even need them because the NFL is so big. But it's turned into kind of this thing where it's like the NBA has China in kind of a weird relationship, and now the MLB is trying to, get the Dominican Republic, get Mexico, get Japan, get South Korea. Those are their markets that they're trying to adapt to and extend to, and I do think it's a good job by the MLB because that World Baseball Classic had to open them up to the possibilities of just rapid growth, rapid popularity. That's why they're trying to expand their game, and that's why there's more games scheduled out of the country than ever before. It's about expanding. It's about growing. And the MLB, they make all the rule changes. They change the pitch clock, things like that. So, guys, we will see what ends up happening, but that is pretty big news. The MLB going to South Korea. That is coming in 2024. But guys, that is going to do it for this video. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description. I'm, of course, the Depressed Ginger. Thank you for watching.